Good evening and welcome to Undaunted, bringing into the news untold stories. I am Star Smart. Let's begin. The Amazonian fight to be free from the shackles of La Republic's assimilation plans is timely given the unity with which the Monday lockdowns are being observed. The determination of the people of Southern Cameroons to be completely free and independent from the colonial La Republic is demonstrated in the observation of the Monday lockdowns. The Monday lockdowns is a strong pointer to the fact that there might be divergence in certain approaches within the people of Amazonia, but then the fire to see Amazonia free is unquenchable. Do not forget, today is June 20th, 2023, World Refugee Day. World Refugee Day, an international day designated by the United Nations to honor refugees around the globe. It is a day to celebrate the strength and courage of people who have been forced to homes, country to escape conflict or persecution. World Refugee Day is an occasion to build empathy and understanding for their plight and to recognize the resilience in rebuilding their lives. Knowing Amazonians around the world have fallen into this category in huge numbers due to the ongoing carnage perpetrated by La Republic against them, Dr. Samuel Ikome Sako brings hope to Amazonian refugees that we'll get to see more of in the full briefings of Undaunted tonight. But first, let's get the prime headlines.
All right, these are the prime headlines for today. Ambazonians more united than ever in the respect of Monday ghost towns. Observing it every Monday, it has become a regular practice. Also tonight, La Republic declaring colonial forces kidnap kill, dump a body of a farmer in Babanki. And in our African report today, we will tell you that over 500 Pakistani migrants drown off the Creek coast. And also today's World Refugee Day. The theme is home away from home. What is the interim government doing about the refugees in different parts of the world? I'm sure you'd want to find out. And in sports, New Zealand abandons Qatar friendly over alleged racist jab. Now let's get the news in detail.
Our vision in this interim government is to make ABC a leader and a real warhorse of our struggle. We want to grow it, expand it, hire and train more hands, and broadcast round the clock, around the world, and take command of the media space of this world.
You can enjoy all round the clock, 24/7 exclusive moments of bliss as an ABC Amba TV Club member. A cappella. Latest Nigerian stroke African movies, global politics, ABC Amba News and updates, historical documentaries, and lots more. In our daily programs, we have Undaunted, ABC Amba News, bringing into the news untold stories with Onyi Opala and Star Smart. Exclusive discussion, revolutionary panel conversation, infotainment, edutainment, intro governmental debates on topical issues with Tar Paddy King, State of the Liberation Movement, Fronting IG and People of Ambazonia's Position, the Struggles Weekly Update with Secretary Martin Mungwa, PhD, FASCE. Health is wealth, health education and awareness within the Ambazonian community. with Dr. Yaya, Liberation Prayer, an intercessory ministry for Amazonia with Pastor Victor Mba, Our Freedom, spiritual awareness and education for the Amazonian community with Pastor Victor Mba and Pastor Commando, church and politics, neutralizing the myths and preconceived religious and political philosophies that limit the Christian involvement in the realms of decent politics with Pastor Commando, The Horizon, the voice of the Amazonian woman with Dr. Patience Abiedo and Lady Casey, Our Amber History, bringing to limelight the hidden history of Amazonia to the world with Pastor Commando, appointment on community building, education on patriotism within the Amazonian communities with Ma Rachel Itatima, ethics for an imagination, watchdog of basic principles and morals of a nation at war with Ma Dorothy Ngwa. Upcoming programs: Pigeon News, Vernacular Talk Show, County Roots, Activists Corner, Amba Focus, only on ABC Amba Television. We the people.
The Amazonian fight to free from the shackles of La Republic de Cameroon assimilation. The plan is timely given the unity which the Monday lockdown are being observed. The determination of the people of Southern Cameroon to be completely free and independent from the colonial La Republic de Cameroon is demonstrated in the observation of the Monday lockdown. The Monday lockdown is a strong pointer to the fact that there might be divergence in certain approaches within the people of Amazonia. The fire to see Amazonia free is highly unquenchable. Well, this is where we'll begin the full brief face-off on Thursday tonight. How are you doing, Sir?
Very well, Oni. Good evening, Amazonians. Yesterday, Monday, June 19th, 2023, just like other previous Mondays, was grounded with ghost because the only occupants of the street were the ghost, with all Amazonians being indoors in observation of the Monday lockdown. A united energy to free the homeland from the colonial La Republic's government and its occupational forces. Now, Monday, June 19, 2023, in Bamenda, Midland Zone in Kumba, in the Atlantic zone of Amazonia, just as in other parts of Amazonia, was ghosted. Streets, markets, institutions, as well as La Republic run institutions in Amazonia were locked as Amazonians observed the Monday lockdown, a move frustrating every extortion plan of La Republic in Amazonia. The people of Southern Cameroons have resolved to give this day the importance it deserves.
Well, they do this by reorientating their activities, while others occupy themselves on Monday to keep fit outings. To others, it is a God ordained day for rest. No matter their reasons, a common goal for all is to render Amazonia ungovernable by the colonial La Republic de Cameroon. The La Republic de Cameroon government, through its surrogate, have employed all types of strategies to fight Monday goes down to no avail, when the present in-house slave Paul Achambong of the colonial Bamenda City Council took over office. He started by selling basic commodities at reduced prices on Mondays to lure people to come out on Mondays. He equally acquired shuttle buses to facilitate movement for free on Mondays. All these moves yielded no fruit, and in the end, he abandoned the strategies.
Now, Ekema Patrick fought shop owners of the Atlantic zone to see them open their shops on Monday. He sealed shops that never opened on Mondays, and Monday Ghost Town is still very much alive. Presently is the Colonial Divisional Officer Tu Mbengui, who has embarked on sealing shops for not operating on Mondays. To embarrass the Colonial La Republic administrator, the shop owners have vowed not to open their shops on Mondays. They rather the shops be locked forever than disrespect the Monday lockdowns.
Well, life has returned to Ambazonia today, Tuesday, June 20th, 2023. Business is back to normal. Township taxis are out, and commercial motorbikes are on the road with their usual transportation services. Markets and other institutions are all open with people going about with their normal activities. Looking at the videos of Bamenda yesterday, Monday 19th, which was a ghost town, and today, Tuesday the 20th, with the traffic, one might be tempted to ask where these people were yesterday, just as you can see for yourself.
Well, now, as reported by Undaunted, since the colonial La Republic soldiers invaded Babanki on Sunday, June 11, 2023, the number of civilian corpses being discovered is on the increase. A corpse of a farmer had been retrieved from the bush. After killing 14 sons of Babanki last Friday, corpses are still being discovered in the bushes, which implies La Republic terrorist forces are still killing.
Youths of Babanki have abandoned their sources of livelihood to flee for their lives. This has always been the plan of La Republic de Cameroon to cripple the economy of Amazonia. Ironically, La Republic de Cameroon is succeeding in this thanks to the collaboration they enjoy with some Ambazonia enablers. A case in point is the current situation in Babanki, where the phone of Babanki requested the coming of La Republic de Cameroon forces to his land. Now see the negative results on the people under his custody. What will now be the conditions of these displaced youths?
After the mass killing of the sons of Big Babanki last Friday, June 16, 2023, another corpse has been discovered, raising the death toll. The corpse of a farmer called Francis Munang has been retrieved from the bushes after La Republic's government forces killed him. Undaunted gathered that he was picked up from his farm in Bango and was later found dead in Bello on Monday, June 19th. Sources add that La Republic's government forces confiscated his phone before killing him.
Well, church members who were aware that Francis Munang has been kidnapped by the Colonial Republic of Cameroon soldiers were surprised that instead of meeting him in his cell, they found his body in the bushes. Many innocent Amazonians, just like Francis Munang, have been killed and attacked by Amazonian fighters by the terrorist La Republic of Cameroon colonial forces. Many youths are on the run out of the Banki for their lives as they don't want to be the next to be killed by the thugs of Paul Biya. Right, according to Michael Bientong, about 6 hours ago, responding and debunking fake news from CRTV, La Republic to Cameroon National Television, a case that was filed by Cameroon proxy lawyer, that the United States judiciary condemned the indicted Amazonian culprits to 15 years. Michael Bientong is debunking that and saying that, of course, it is not true.
But we've heard from unconfirmed sources that CRTV is informing their public that Amazonian activists have been condemned to 15 years imprisonment. But that is false, as no such verdict has been passed, none of it was successful, and the situation is under control.
Well, Undaunted is here to tell you that it is fake news, and we want Amazonians to know so as well. We are, of course, observing the matter very closely, and we will bring you up to speed with any development that comes up. And on the African scene, Pakistani Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif on Sunday declared a national day of mourning for citizens who died when a fishing trawler packed with migrants sank off the Greek coast. As many as 750 men, women, and children from Syria, Egypt, the Palestinian terrorists and territories, and Pakistan were on board the vessel trying to reach relatives in Europe. The Greek Coast Guard has defended its response to the tragedy that left more than 500 migrants presumed drowned while the vessel sank on Wednesday.
Now, Sharif expressed his grief over the tragedy and said Monday would be observed as a day of mourning with the national flag flying at half staff. He previously said the Pakistan's embassy in Athens has identified 12 nationals who were rescued by the Coast Guard. There was no official information on how many Pakistanis were on board the vessel, how many survived, or how many perished.
Greek authorities have been criticized for their failure to act faster. They say the migrants insisted they didn't need any help, but non governmental organizations say they received a number of calls for help. The sinking was one of the worst disasters of its kind this year. Meanwhile, police in Pakistan administered Kishmir said on Sunday that they arrested 12 people involved in sending local youths to Libya for the onward journey to Europe. Senior official Khalid Kushan said police picked up the suspects and looked down on the human traffickers. Police are interrogating them for their alleged roles in luring, trapping, and sending locals abroad after extracting huge amounts of money from them.
Now, around 28 people from the Koi Rata area in the district of Kotli have gone to Libya for onward travel to Europe, police said. Local officials Chaudhry Haq Nawaz said there was still no confirmation on how many young men from the area were on board the ill-fated boat or how many are among the dead or missing. He said efforts are underway to collect related DNA and the test results will be sent to Greece to help identify victims.
People have been offering their support to relatives of those presumed to have been on the boat. Raja Katsunda of Bindan village in Kotli said his four relatives, nephews aged 18 to 36, remain missing. In his words, says, "We were informed by the media of the tragedy. When children are not found or dead, you can understand what a parent goes through." He said Raja Mohammed Majid asked the Pakistani government to bring back his nephew Raja Awais. If he is dead, bring back the body, he said. When we bury him here, his mother, sisters, and others can go to his grave and offer prayers. We will be patient.
Now, this is yet another example of migration tragedy. Citizens from different countries fleeing for reasons mostly revolved around war end up in very terrible situations. This one, sadly, is the death of over 500 and more to be sure of. The sad event is definitely not the first. The influx of refugees from Africa, the southern Cameroons especially, die in the high sea in distant places. A recent example of this is that of Antigua, amongst a list of other places with migrants vulnerable and being left with no help or even hope of reaching where they journeyed for or even hope of survival.
The peaceful global village has been more prone to being reactive instead of being proactive. That's why you hear of the UN conflict resolution. But sadly, most often the United Nations resolutions come in to provide curative support instead of a preventive measure. Does the UN actually resolve conflicts? An influx of refugees, what is the root cause of the problem? Because these are people who have genuine problem in their homeland and they are fleeing from problems in their countries. So they are fleeing for safety. So we think that during a day like this, we look at why the refugee crisis globally can be avoided and even recognized globally. The crisis in southern Cameroon didn't even start today.
The refugee problems didn't start today either. When Nigeria invaded Cameroon in 1961, it started way back, and those who were troubled were forced to seek succor. And that's why those struggling Amazonians look for the best way possible to get help. Like the Congo and Nigeria as well, they were scattered globally, but then the United Nations come in with a huge bucket to tackle to accommodate the issues and yet does not achieve anything. So it could be that the United Nations is making money in conflicts and doesn't want the problems to end because that's when they come up with something or of relevance. How much money has been spent on resettlement? Look at the Central Republic.
And funny enough, for very strategic reasons, it's an open secret that the UNSC is despising the conflict in southern Cameroon because a major Security Council member, which could be France, has a major direct interest in southern Cameroon. This is of interest to us because there is an imminent danger. The war in southern Cameroon is focused on the west of the Mongo, and that is within the international boundaries of the southern Cameroons. There are very high chances that it could escalate east of the Mongo, which is La Republic to Cameroon, and could affect the neighboring countries as well.
Now, if the southern Cameroons are taken for granted for too long, the crisis could increase. According to UNHCR 2022, close to 20,000 refugees were registered in flux in Nigeria from the Cameroons alone. The UNHCR in Nigeria couldn't even register all the immigrants coming in. The interim government has spent close to 10 million to celebrate today, just to provide basic utility like food. There are also the elderly ones that would be given cash prizes as well to be able to take care of their families as well. The interim government spent close to 10 million naira in Nigeria alone. The numbers has been influxing, and we can only work with the figure we have to effectively reach out to the people. But we know that there are more.
All right. Hope away from home. Each June 20th, the globe comes together to honor refugees, and it's tagged World Refugee Day. The theme for this year's World Refugee Day is Hope Away from Home. This theme highlights the resilience and challenges faced by refugees who lost everything. World Refugee Day holds immense importance across the world as it brings global attention to the plight and challenges faced by refugees.
United Nations General Assembly UNGA launched the holiday in 2000, and since then the worldwide community has spent a day focused on ways to improve the lives of refugees. Most of us know that refugees are forced to leave their homes due to war, terror, or other crises, but fleeing their home country is often just the beginning of a difficult journey. Many refugees find themselves living in camps until they are resettled, some of which are dangerous or not well equipped for long term living. Refugees don't always have a say in which country they are all relocated to, and the bureaucratic process involved in finding their new home can take quite some time.
Worldwide refugee crises have taken center stage in the news in recent years, so it's more important than ever to show support and to celebrate World Refugee Day yourself. Southern Cameroon's Ambazonians are affected by these. Many are far away from home in different countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Niger Republic, just to find safety, succor, and relief. The interim government, led by Dr. Samuel Ikomesako, are always on their toes seeking for ways to send humanitarian aid to the refugees across the globe. We understand the circumstances of the pain they go through. We only hope that the world would adjust and help too. But you can also help. You can be a friend to refugees in your community, reach out to refugees in your area, consider inviting them into your home for dinner, or to spend a few nights in your guest room if they are in need of somewhere to stay.
Now, you could also introduce them to your local community so they'll have an easier time getting to know their new neighborhood. Simply being a friend can make a major positive impact in somebody's life, and serving as a guide to the community can be incredibly helpful. It's your job to also make a difference no matter what you do for a living. There's a good chance that your professional skills can be used to improve the lives of others. Volunteering your work related talents to local refugee organizations can help too. Last year, the United Nations shared a goal that someday soon every refugee would have the opportunity for an education, a safe place to live, and ways to work and contribute to their communities. Chances are you've got a skill or talent that can help in working towards one of these goals. Now, if you own a business or are hiring manager, you may also consider employing local refugees who are in need of work.
And in sports, New Zealand's football team abandoned its friendly match against Qatar at halftime after accusing the Qatari player of making a racist comment to defender Michael Boxall.
Now, in a statement issued on Tuesday, Football New Zealand said the team refused to play the second half in Austria on Monday after the referee refused to take actions. Gabellison has more.
Latest world sports. Football. New Zealand abandons Qatar friendly over alleged racist jibe. New Zealand's football team abandoned its friendly match against Qatar at halftime after accusing a Qatari player of making a racist comment to defender Michael Boxall. In a statement issued on Tuesday, Football New Zealand said the team refused to play the second half in Austria on Monday after the referee refused to take action. The incident happened with New Zealand leading 1-0 in Witsing. Qatar were awarded a free kick when the New Zealanders accused Yusuf Abdurizak of making a racist comment of Boxall, who is of Samoan heritage. After a melee between the teams at the 40th minute, New Zealand captain Joe Bell complained to referee Manuel Schottenkruber, who shook his head, indicating he would not take action against Abdurizak. The New Zealand Professional Footballers Association said it stood by the players' decision. We have contacted the team and will work with NZ Football to support the players in any way required, the NZPFA said. There is no room for racism in our sport. New Zealand Football CEO Andrew Pragnell also expressed support for his players. We never want to see a match abandoned, but some issues are bigger than football, and it is important to make a stand, he said in a statement. Qatar's newly appointed coach Carlos Queiroz said the New Zealand captain informed them of his team's decision not to return. The facts are as follows. Apparently, two players on the pitch exchanged words. Queiroz said, the New Zealand players decided to support their teammate just as our team decided to support our player. They decided to abandon the game with no witnesses. The referee didn't hear anything. The coach didn't hear anything. It's just an argument between two players. I think this is a new chapter in football and a situation that no one can understand. Let the football authorities to make the decision about what happened here, he told Alca's TV channel. I think the players will be under the observation of FIFA, but I asked the coach and referees and no one heard anything. The Qatar Football Association QFA said on its Twitter feed that New Zealand had withdrawn from the friendly without giving any further details. The incident was one of the two in Austria on Monday, with Ireland's Football Association saying its under-21 team abandoned a match against Kuwait Olympic side after a Kuwaiti player used racist language towards an Irish substitute. Ireland's Football Association (FAI) said the under-21 international was abandoned after the racist remark by the Kuwaiti player. The Kuwait Football Association disputed the FAI's claim in a statement on social media, saying it categorically rejects such accusations. Racism has dominated football headlines in recent months. FIFA President Gianni Infantino announced an anti-racism committee led by Real Madrid forward Vinicius Jr., who has been the victim of racist abuse in Spain's La Liga. The Brazil forward was racially abused by fans when Madrid played Valencia in May the 10th. Such incident involving the 22-year-old that La Liga has reported to prosecutors this season. Mixed martial arts. Chris Lencioni, American fighter, suffers cardiac arrest during training. Bellator fighter Chris Lencioni is in uncharted territory after suffering cardiac arrest in training. The 28-year-old has been in hospital since the incident on 8 June, and his wife, Marka, says they are hopeful he will continue to make progress. The American is scheduled to fight Ireland's James Gallagher at Bellator 298 on 11th August. We are aware of Lencioni's current medical condition and are monitoring the situation closely, Bellator said. Lencioni's wife asked fans to pray for her husband and added in an Instagram post, "The athletes at the gym were great and immediately called 911 and did their best to address his needs until paramedics arrived. We're currently in another state. He has been under the care of excellent doctors with I and much of his family by his side. We are currently in uncharted territory and taking everything day by day. Thank you for the continued support during this time." Lencioni last fought in April, beating Blake Smith, and is on a 4-fight winning streak. The August fight is set to be Gallagher's return after almost 2 years since his last fight, a defeat to Patchy Mix in November 2021. Tennis. Annette Cantave, former WTA Tour World Number 2, will retire after Wimbledon. The former world number 2 Annette Cantave has announced her retirement from tennis due to a condition in her back. The Estonian said the problem does not allow for full-scale training or continued competition and explained Wimbledon will be her last tournament. The 27-year-old's best result in a Grand Slam tournament was reaching the Australian Open quarterfinals in 2020. Tennis has given and taught me a lot, Cantave said. She added in a statement on Instagram, "It has been important for me to bring the Estonian flag to the tennis courts and to be able to play in front of my supporters and fans all over the world. I am ready for new challenges after my last effort as a professional tennis player." Cantave has lumbar disc degeneration, which can cause pain, numbness, and pins and needles, according to the NHS. Wimbledon starts on 3rd July and the draw will be made on 30th June. Gab Ellison reporting for Undaunted, ABC Amba News.
All right, thank you so much, Gab Ellison, for that sports report. And with that sports report, we've come to the end of Undaunted tonight. But before we go, let's take a look at our major stories.
On Undaunted tonight, we brought to you Ambazonians being more united than ever in the respect of Monday ghost towns, and also more discoveries in Big Babanki after La Republic's military raid as La Republic's colonial forces kidnap, kill, and dump body of a farmer in Babanki.
All right, on the African scene, we told you that over 500 Pakistani migrants drowned off the Greek coast as the world celebrates World Refugee Day. The theme for this year is Home Away from Home, as the interim government spends over 10 million naira to the refugees in Nigeria. And in sports, we told you that New Zealand abandons Qatar friendly over alleged racist jibe. And that was it for tonight. So don't check into the news and church stories. On behalf of Michael and Krista Smart and the entire Undaunted crew, we say thank you for tuning in.
We'll leave you with ABC Amber TV images. Good night and God bless you.